Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the weekly wave. I hope everyone has had a great week so far. We're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to talk about transfers first. We do have Ryan Piper with us this morning, so I'll go over the slide, and then if you have any questions, please get them ready for him. He's not going to stay on the entire call, but he wanted to take the time out and see if he could assist you with anything at the district. So just remember that your incoming transfer results for Q3 and the district capacity for Q4 reporting has been open since March 17th and will close on April 17th. Your approved transfer extensions will be the entire month of May 1st through the 31st. And applications for the 23-24 school year will not be made available till June 1st, but you yourself at the districts can't approve those requests until July 1st. So Ryan, do you have anything else to add to that? And if so, if not, then we'll go ahead and take questions from the districts.
No, very succinct, Nancy. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. Does anybody have any questions for Ryan? As now's your time to unmute and ask your question, please.
See, they already know everything, Nancy. You didn't need me. Oh, wait, there's one.
Okay.
Is anyone aware how much work was actually, I think we should probably take that in an email form. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll put my email in the chat and we can discuss that further there. There we are.
Hey, Ryan, this is Kelly Brassfield at Union Public Schools.
Hi, Kelly.
How are you today?
Pretty good. How about you?
Doing okay. Hey, I'm just kind of circling back. You know, early on, we talked about maybe being able to have an export of students.
Of a report of the information that you had there. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we can compare to what we have in our SIS. It would really help us to do that comparison instead of doing it one by one.
Absolutely. That is something that is on our enhancement list that our developer is working on. I don't know where we're at exactly on that process, but I'll find out.
All right, that'd be great. It would really help us.
Thanks, Kelly. Does anybody else have questions for Ryan? Because once he's gone, your transfer questions won't be answered probably. So. All right.
One thing I'd like to add, Nancy, if it's okay, just for a second here. You know, as far as the extension may be acted upon, that is for extensions or denials that are based on discipline or attendance in that same window that we were talking about there. We cannot deny a transfer for capacity in that extension. That is not a reason for that. Further, I did have a really good question come up yesterday, and this is really speaking more, not necessarily about anything on the screen, but about a student that was trying to transfer for the third time back to a place they had transferred to earlier in the year. And the limit for that is 2. So just a couple, 3 things, the questions that had come up that are good for everyone to hear, I think, probably.
Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate your time and taking the time to meet with us today. It means a lot to me. So we're going to go ahead and go on with the slide. And if you want to go ahead and drop.
Nancy?
Yes.
Hang on before Ryan leaves. I want to make sure he's indicating that that's just for virtual, but they can always transfer back to their home school more than that.
Always. I'm sorry, Cheryl. That's 100% correct. That they are always allowed to go to their school of residence at any point in time, regardless whether they've been a virtual transfer or a physical transfer.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ryan. I really appreciate you joining.
Absolutely. Just before I go, any other questions? Okay. Y'all have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. All right, next we're going to move on to accountability reporting. Again, the chronic absentee medical exemption window is open. It closes on June the 30th. You've got to have 3 components when you're reviewing this data. You have to have your local exemption committee, your site user, district admin user, and the site user and district admin user cannot be the same person. If you need to go back and look at some of the previous trainings that they had, I've added the link above, and it's recorded on our website. So feel free to do that. Also, again, if you've got students that left prior to October 1st, really any time in this fiscal or this school year, if they've left and you've added an exit code that you feel is incorrect or an error, you can always go back and make changes because we're in the current school year. So some of those prior to October 1st affected your dropout report that you've already completed, but correcting that on the next dropout report. I mean, if you correct the data now on the next dropout report, it will correct that on your report. So keep that in mind. Also, again, I can't say this enough. Please make sure you're checking your post-secondary coursework credit. I have been working with some districts to make sure that we're receiving the data correctly. That way you don't miss out on your post-secondary credit. Also check your conflict tab, the school data conflict. And there are some error or conflicts there that are instructional level codes that you need to make sure that are cleared. And always, if you have questions, you can contact Karen Mock at karen.mock@sde.ok.gov. You can contact Kurt Johnson at kurtjohnson@sde.ok.gov, myself at nancy.flores@sde.ok.gov, or June Jared at june.jared@sde.ok.gov. And anytime there's any announcements through, for the accountability reporting, you will receive those notifications through Gov Delivery. If you have questions about their stuff, always email accountability@sde.ok.gov. Next slide would have to do with their demographic overlay window. It's now open. Your school should review the demographic information for students participating in the Oklahoma School Testing Program. And snapshots of the demographic information are in accountability reporting application, and they will be taken on the dates below the school or the actual testing. The data will be used for future reports, so that's why it's so vital that you make sure it's correct. And if you've got any questions in regards to the guidance on the demographic overlay, it's at the link that I provided underneath this, so, or with right here. So keep in mind, April 20th, it's going to be for high school and grade 3 for early RSA, and May 10th would be your grades 3rd through 8th. So does anybody have any questions in regards to accountability reporting?
Nancy, I do, but I asked it in the chat and it doesn't make sense at all. So, and it's not in regards to the code that is issued to the student, but that what does that process look like if we're kind of at odds with another district on the number of days in which we drop a student and they move to their district? Like, maybe this is more of a Mitzi question.
Well, if this has to do with like your ASR stuff like that,
yeah,
we'll get to that in a minute. But
okay.
If you're talking about if you were referencing the slide a couple back that says the dropout codes and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to know how,
but it's more in relation to the days. So that's coming up. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
I was out of place there. Thank you.
You're fine, Carolyn. I appreciate you even asking the question. So that's our next topic. Is if no one has questions about accountability reporting, we're going to talk about the ASR. So it is open and it closes on the the 30th of June. That date is, your close date is dependent on when the end of school is. You've got 10 days after the end of school to have your reports ready or prior to your RAO visit. Please make sure you're clearing any ownership issues, your data validation errors. You need to check your calendars to make sure you're meeting the day requirements of 165, and that's total days. And it includes your instructional days, your parent-teacher conference days, and professional days. And there's 5 of those at a minimum. You do need to enter your graduate exit codes and dates before certifying your ASR. And if you have questions, contact state aid. Now, Carolyn, your question is in regards to those exit codes in the FQSR or the ASR, or both?
Well, this one would be the time frame of the exit. So it would be a conflict in the days being claimed. And it is during the FQSR.
Okay. So if you had a student leave and give me an example here.
Yeah, the student left, but we claimed them, and now there's an accountability error or a conflict. And the other district, we may just need to do more consultation with them, but they're still claiming after we've contacted them. So maybe I'm just not aware of what that process looks like for resolving that.
So
you're,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Lori.
so you say you have an ownership problem with another district and you guys can't resolve it between the two of you.
Correct.
Okay, so what you'll do is you can get your REO involved. Sometimes sometimes I've sent emails and it seems to fix it with people.
Okay.
So you can come to us, state aid.
Okay.
And if it has to go, we can escalate it to your REO, because I mean, someone's going to have to give on that. I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
you can share a day except for October 1. So it shouldn't be
Right.
if the kid left, but I know there's sometimes just hard to get people to do stuff. So
Okay.
just call it.
I'll touch base with them one more time and then contact you. Does that sound good?
Okay. That sounds good.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Hey, thanks, Lori. Does anybody have any more questions about ASR? While we've got Lori and Mitzi on.
Yeah, how many times a week is the wave going to pull the alt ed for those SD errors? How many times are we pulling that? Is that just on the weekend?
I think that's going to be based upon enrollment. So right now it will be based upon enrollment, and that is pulled pretty much every day. So right now I would say daily.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Mona. Anybody have any other questions? Okay. If you're changing student information vendors, please let us know. We need to make sure that we need to know who you're coming from and who you're moving to, and we need to make sure that everything is transitioned properly. That way you're not having to go in at the end of the year or the beginning of next year and resolve every student you have as far as their STNs. It's very cumbersome. I just want to add that. If you are doing that, please email studentdatainfo@sde.ok.gov and we'll get the right people involved. P-EBT. Okay, the timelines are still March the 13th through April 15th. And that's for the parent to submit their form for P-EBT. And then March 20th through the April 28th, it's the DVR window is open for districts. And so, and then at the end of May, it's the final school year and summer file. We'll be sending that to DHS. So we've sent communications to the districts that qualified for them to communicate to the parents about the parent online form, which it's been updated on the OSDE site for P-EBT. We've also provided a template for you to message your parents. It's very important to do this quickly because we've got a very short timeline. You can also post it to your website or email your parents because they only have a 4-week period. Well, it's less than that now to make their submissions. We should be sending the weekly spreadsheets. We get those from Child Nutrition, and it will only contain the information for each week. You're not going to see the entire timeline. And hopefully you've been validating your calendar, your distance learning and virtual days, and you could already be creating those DVRs. And I just can't emphasize enough to get those done as soon as you get those sheets, because if you wait till the last minute to do your DVRs, it's going to be very difficult to meet those timelines. You can also, validate your virtual and blended students, create DVRs, and you need to correct the basis of admission code for RV on, RV off. This could actually resolve some of those parents' requests proactively. Okay, we've provided guidance to the districts to assist in the DVR types that should be created for each circumstance. And if the parents contact us about the state testing number, we will be directing those parents back to the district because we can't provide them. We don't have a way to verify who they are. So if you're getting those calls, please, do what you can to assist the parents. To know if the student qualifies, the district must have at least 5 consecutive site-wide distance learning or virtual days due to COVID in 2022, or your district must have 5 consecutive days of declining attendance due to COVID in 2022. Now for summer P-EBT for 2023, students must have an approved meal plan that's free and reduced status no later than the 26th of May. And we won't be extending applications. No application will be accepted beyond that date, no exceptions. Does anybody have any questions about P-EBT? Okay. So that is all I have to cover today. If you need assistance with anything or have questions, please email us at studentdatainfo@sde.ok.gov. You can always provide documents and guidance on the SDE website under student information, documents and guides. And that is all I have. And I do see we have you had a parent contact you directly about P-EBT for 21-22 being an issue. Do we still need them to go to the site? Yes, you do need, Linda. They need to sign up on that claim form if they feel like they should have gotten something and they didn't.
Nancy, have they sent out the first round?
Yes, they have. So if you haven't gotten anything, first of all, I'd like to say, please check with your superintendents and your child nutrition people, because I know I sent updates to include people on those notifications. I don't know if they were updated, but be sure you're checking with your superintendent and child nutrition office to see if they've been notified of, been sent any type of spreadsheet from us for that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have anything else? I'm going to go ahead and shut off the recording.